वेलकम बैक टू डर्टी एप्रन्स। उम्मीद है कि हमारी सारे रेसिपीज़ आप एंजॉय कर रहे हो और हम भी इसी कोशिश में रहते हैं कि हर रेसिपीज़ को कैसे इंटरेस्टिंग बनाया जाए। और आज भी हम कुछ ऐसा ही ला रहे हैं। अगर मॉमीज़ अपने बेबीज़ के कोई भी डिसीजंस के बारे में पूछा जाए तो हमेशा एक पीडियाट्रिशियन को कंसल्ट करना चाहेगी। तो बिस्ट्रो पेन आपके लिए लाया है ऐसा ही एक वेल नोन एक्सपीरियंस पेडियाट्रिशियन जो आपसे कुछ शेयर करेंगे बेबी केयर के बारे में।
Often things get confused because of too much of information coming from books, various sources, friends, relatives. So often a mother is confused. One says give this, one says don't give this, and it becomes a major issue and an obsession for a mother. I would put it in a very simple sentence rather, that from mother's milk gradually to mother's diet. So the child learns the home food, develops the taste for home foods, and beyond certain point, the question of making separate dishes for the child gets less and less. All right. Few specifics which I discourage is baby foods in general, for the content of preservatives, flavors, and most of them contain milk in it. External milk or cattle milk, in general, I discourage. Let the breast milk continue on demand, and as the child learns to eat more and more, the feed increases. So you start beginning with liquids like dal water, rice water, and then you start making things a little thicker like lapsi or porridge. Along with this, you use mashed vegetables, mashed fruits. And as the child learns to increase, you let the child taste your recipes like your bhaji ka rasa or your gravy ka rasa. Biologically, we are mammals. What's the meaning of mammals? We are animals with mammary glands. And the newborn is supposed to have the mother's milk. Something very natural, very basic, but of late you have to stress on it for various reasons, change in lifestyle, career, mothers, and things on and so forth. Begin with the colostrum. That's the first thick yellow discharge. It may be few drops, but that is rich in antibodies. If at all there is something called nectar or amrit, that is one. First 24 to 48 hours, the fluid requirement and caloric requirement of an average weight child is minimal. So the habit of supplementing with something else till the milk flow starts, so-called, is a wrong practice. Let the child keep sucking and let the flow increase. But what is important is a lot of assurance needed for the mother and the relatives, especially the grandparents, because if the child cries, the only thing they think of is hunger. And that is where some external feed, maybe with bottle, a formula feed is introduced. And because of the bottle coming in, there's a nipple confusion. Mother's nipple, the child has to really work hard to suckle, whereas from nipple comes easy. And therefore, the first or maybe the earliest introduction or the first feed with the bottle nipple, does the whole damage. So recommend that you start with breast milk, even if it is Caesar, what we call as assisted breastfeeding. Even if the mother is unable to sit up or turn on sides, someone helps the child suckle. And then for the first 6 months, it should be exclusive breastfeeding. By that we mean that with milk, mother's milk, there's no need of water or any juices or anything else for that matter, and it should be on demand. Now, apart from nutrition, it is a basic immune part, the most important, and the basis or the foundation of the immunity of the child begins here, and that's form. We trying to quantify a child by various parameters like the weight, height, and things like that. There is so much of ethnic difference. If you take African population or the Western Caucasian population, the parameters vary a lot, and often there are common parameters put in. That's why WHO has differentiated and put third world countries as a separate parameter. If at all to a certain extent, but it should never be followed rigidly. I think that is one of the criteria, but I put it as the last criteria. A wellness of the child depends on many other parameters, right from its energy and activity level and general well-being, rather than just going by weight. And often, in fact, it's unfortunate that even our doctors, most of us, maybe initially when we're junior, we try to follow and we just show that the child is going down the graph and things like that, where the actual health is normal, but the mother is affected, she goes into depression. So at this point of time, I have eliminated all weight charts graphs from my file, and I try to explain every mother on individual basis what really matters is the general activity, energy of the child, and many other parameters besides just weight and height, which are also decided by the genetics and the ethnic aspects. Anything other than breastfeeding, if you ask me, then whatever choice is like between devil and the deep sea. So depends on the availability, affordability, and in Marathi it is said Aicha Nantar Gaicha. So one milk which is closest to human milk is cow's milk. Now getting cow's milk in its purest form is difficult of late. So whichever brand you feel is available in that given area or in the locality, you go by that. The next question would be which formulae or the milk powders. Again, there's a mad rush by the pharma companies, one trying to score over the other. That we have added something this year for the brain, we have added something for intelligence, we have added something for growth. Nothing can come close to breast milk. I'm a fan and follower of the principles of Dr. R.K. Anand, who has done great work on breastfeeding and fighting against formula preparations and things like that, to tell you the least. He has stressed on breastfeeding aspects and cleared the basics like anything. As to the semi-solids which you can begin early and which are homemade, if you see many local, states or people have their own dishes, what they call as bhardi or kimti. The whole idea is to use the common cereals in pulses: rice, ragi, moong dal, wheat, roasted, powder it, and this increases the shelf life. And this you could give in ghee, you could use jaggery, you could use this medium and customize it by adding mashed fruits, mashed vegetables and things like that. Till of course the child takes to your dal rice and khichdi, more normal home foods. First thing, why do you call it dirty aprons? Because they are full of ideas, and with the present nuclear family and both parents working, mothers need more ideas with more variety, and still stick to the principles of health or as advised by the pediatrician doctors. It's like any dish, like you have traditional dishes and then newer ideas coming in. So anything which follows the health guidelines and is acceptable practically to manage by parents, mothers especially, and is accepted taste-wise by the child, and if it is more feasible, why not? I think it's been going on from time immemorial. Ideas have been coming forth. Only thing is the way they are being presented, the mode in which they are being presented, keeps differing with the time and as the science and technology advances. So maybe 50 years back, it used to be a relative, cousin or a friend telling something. Subsequently, it used to be books, magazines, maybe articles in newspapers, it still are. And now it has come to social and electronic media. So why not be exposed to it and understand it and pick your choice.
So I hope the insights shared by Dr. Ashok Rathore was really helpful. And if you must have noticed, he also spoke about a cereal powder which can substitute many market available packaged food like Cerelac and Farix. Why? Because in those foods you have milk products which is restricted at this age group of babies after 6 months to 1 year. So it is better to stick to this kind of cereal powder, which is more organic, as we make it at home with pure ingredients without addition of any chemicals or other substitutes. Okay, so let's start making this powder. I will show you what are the ingredients required for the same. We need 4 different ingredients to start with. First is moong dal, split yellow moong dal. Second is ragi or nachni, we call it in Mumbai. Third is wheat, and fourth is rice. This is brown rice which I have used. You can use white rice as well. It's up to your preference. Preferably brown rice is good because it has lot of fibers and good for baby's digestion. Okay, so to start with the recipe, it is very simple. We just have to roast these ingredients. So it's better not to roast them together because each ingredient requires different heat, different temperatures. So I will roast them separately, individually, and grind them together and make it a powder like this. Okay, this can be called as a homemade Cerelac powder, which you can carry anywhere you travel and use to feed your babies. But one thing you have to keep in mind, that we cannot directly mix it in water and give it to babies because this needs cooking. So either we can cook it in water, or you can use any other substitute like a light cow's milk or substitute similar to water. But make sure if you're using milk, then it should be above 1 year of baby's age. As a fruit substitute, you can use banana, apple, any fruit which you prefer to make it sweet. In order to change the recipe, you can either add boiled vegetables and make it a smooth upma. So these are the 2 recipes that Bistro Brain would like to add to using this powder. You can create your own recipes, innovative recipes using the same powder. Bistro Brain shared 2 recipes using this cereal powder as base. You can create your own recipes in the innovative way using the same cereal powder as a base. Thank you for watching our show, and see you soon in the next video.